Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Wooden Railway Adventures, Episode 193, Sideplates and Skirmishes. Stepney and Flora work at Great Waterton Station, which is hidden back in the hills of Sodor. While Stepney enjoys his branch line, Flora finds it boring and the work can be sporadic due to the weather. "I don't want to be cooped up here during Christmas time," she complained one morning. "There's so much more to see out there besides this same old station." Stepney was a little irritated. "Fine," he said. "If you don't like it here, then go make yourself useful somewhere else." Stepney wasn't exactly serious, but Flora saw her chance and went with it. She quickly puffed away, leaving Stepney alone on the branch line. "Oh," he said quietly. "Well, have fun then." Flora was excited at the new scenery and she quickly pulled into Ulfstead Castle. All of the engines were very busy preparing for the upcoming Christmas celebration. "It will be marvelous," touted Stephen. "The Earl is ordering the biggest tree you've ever seen. I bet it's going to tower over the castle walls." "How wonderful," chuffed Flora. "If I can, I might just sneak away from Great Waterton on Christmas to come see it." "Speaking of which, what exactly are you doing here?" asked Toby. "Oh, Stepney's being an old fusspot again. I'm sure he can handle things. What can I do to help with the decorating?" "Well," said Stephen, "I was supposed to give a tour today, but Toby volunteered to pull it for me. You can join him, I suppose." "Oh, yes, how fun!" And Flora puffed away to the station. Toby was a bit apprehensive. Although he and Flora were friends, she was much more exciting and loud than he was used to. "Looks like I have someone to keep me company," he said dryly, and he quickly followed her. Toby went to go fetch Stephen's open coaches for the tour, but Flora had already arrived at Ulfstead Station with her own tram coach. "No, Flora, you can't use that," protested Toby. "These are the official tour coaches for Ulfstead Castle. Nobody will be able to see anything outside of your big van there." "It's not a van," wheezed Flora crossly. "It's a tram coach, and it will do a much better job than those old things. Climb aboard, everyone. There's not a moment to lose." The passengers were confused. They didn't realize Flora was taking them on a tour since Toby had the open coaches right behind her. "I guess this is our engine," said the children, and they climbed aboard. "See," said Flora, "the passengers like my coach." "So be it," conceded Toby, "but don't leave without me. I need to show you the line to take so that the passengers get to see the entire castle." "No need to," interrupted Flora. "I have eyes, Toby. I can see where the track goes. Goodbye." And Flora pulled away with the passengers. Toby was growing cross. "Fine," he said to himself. "If Flora thinks she knows what to do, then who am I to try and stop her?" Meanwhile, Flora was having a blast. She was so excited that she raced along the rails much too quickly, and the passengers didn't have time to admire the castle. "Slow down," they yelled, and Flora finally did. She was about to re-enter the castle grounds when the track in front of her mysteriously shifted and revealed another line below it. "Ooh, that looks exciting," she said. "Let's go that way." But Flora was going in the wrong direction. Instead of continuing along the tour line, she ended up leaving Ulfstead Castle and heading towards Great Waterton. "Flora, what are you doing here?" asked Stepney. "Come back to help me with the passengers." "Oh, never again," she laughed. "This is way more fun." But Flora soon got lost. She rarely traveled outside of the Great Waterton area and had no idea where she was going. "I guess we go this way," she proclaimed, and set off again. "Ooh, this looks spooky. Like a haunted house. Would you all like to take a visit? Not particularly, said the passengers. This place is old and smells weird. But Flora didn't listen. She ran across the turntable and around the bend to where Airy was resting comfortably. Oh, this is a dead end, said Flora sadly. Guess we have to turn around. You better, grunted Airy. The diesel works is for diesels only. The passengers screamed as Flora rushed away. Toby had been watching from behind the wall and had seen everything. This is not going well, he said, and he raced down the line after them. Meanwhile, Flora was still lost. She could see the castle in the distance, but had no idea how to get there. I'm cold, said one of the children. Let's head back to the station where it's nice and warm. Yes, quite right, agreed Flora. Oh, look, here's a station. But it wasn't Ulfstead Station. Flora couldn't drop the passengers off here. Maybe it's down the line just a little ways, she said to herself. But Flora continued to get more and more lost. Instead of asking for help, she kept on assuming she was on the right track back until she didn't arrive at the castle after all. Where are we? Asked the children. Oh dear, we're finally lost, cried Flora. I don't know how I'm going to get us back to the station, and I'm nearly out of coal. Flora and the passengers were stranded by Gordon's Hill, and they had no way of getting help. Meanwhile, Toby was trying to track them down. Did Flora come through here a while ago? He asked quickly. Yes, she went that way, said Boko. She looked confused, but didn't say anything. Flora's too proud to admit when she needs help, sighed Toby, and he set off once again. After following the clues from fellow engines, Toby finally found them at the bottom of Gordon's Hill. Look, it's Toby, cried Flora. We're saved! Hooray! The passengers were very happy that they were going to be rescued. Where are you heading? Chuckled Toby. This doesn't look like Ulfstead Castle. I know it's not, and I'm sorry, said Flora sadly. I thought I knew everything about giving tours at the castle, but I obviously don't. Will you push us back to Ulfstead Station so that these nice people can go home? I think I have a better idea, smiled Toby, and he pushed Flora and her tram to Knapford Station. What are we doing here? This isn't Ulfstead Castle. As Toby switched lines, the passengers headed inside MC Bun, where there was hot food and drinks waiting for them. Oh, wow! How thoughtful of you, Toby. I've had many years of experience pulling Henrietta, he replied. I know when it's time to stop and feed your passengers, otherwise they'll become cross and hungry. I should have listened to you, admitted Flora. In fact, you should be the one to take them back to the castle. I've messed up too much for one day. Absolutely not. You started this tour, and you're going to finish it. I guess you're right, mumbled Flora. Besides, added Toby, if Sir Topham Hatt is waiting for you, then I don't want to be the one to get in trouble. Flora couldn't help but laugh. Once the passengers had reboarded, Toby gave her some of his coal and she followed his directions to get back to the station. Flora, we're running a bit late, aren't we? Asked Sir Topham Hatt. My apologies, sir. I got a little carried away with the tour. It was awesome, shouted the children. We got to see the whole entire island, and we even stopped for desserts at MC Bun. It was a lot of fun. Interesting, said Sir Topham Hatt. Well, as long as the passengers are happy, then I can't complain. Good job, Flora, but I think Stepney wants you back on his branch line starting tomorrow. Yes, sir, she said. It will be nice to get back there again. And the next day, Flora returned to Great Waterton. She had enjoyed her adventure, but she knew she belonged on Stepney's branch line where things were a little more peaceful and predictable.